Is up, everybody? Welcome to Comic Book Club. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
I'm Pete.
And we are coming to you live from a couple places on the internet. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Pete's favorite platform for gaming.
Come on,
and other
Twitch.
needs.
Yeah.
Twitch. How's the weather on our Twitch?
What up, Twitch?
And we are also
R.I.P. Twitch.
And we're also
Right,
live on Twitter. Pete's coming out hot today. We are also maybe you're listening later on Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. That is all good. We have a great show for you tonight, as we always do.
That's great.
I think we legitimately, for the past
Coming
60
in a little
years,
cocky.
there has never been a bad show.
What?
Like, not once. Not once.
I don't know
They have
about
one
that.
bad show. They've all been bangers across the board.
All
Go back and
bangers?
listen. Go back and
Every
listen. You
single
listen
one.
to them.
You can
You
listen to
listen to
them.
every single one. You'll be like, this is a banger.
Find
this
a
is a
flaw.
banger.
I don't know
And
about
especially
that.
those early ones, this sound was banging. It was great. Everything was perfect.
Yeah, my favorite is when we finished an episode and then they're like, "Oh, yeah, we couldn't keep the sound."
We didn't make it.
Yeah,
Where the tech guy would be like, hey, I never hit record.
Yeah.
Those were the best ones.
yeah, those were the fun ones.
Just hearing you say that hurts. Look,
Yeah.
we're reminiscing.
But I'll tell you what, things are going swimmingly now, and they're particularly going swimmingly thanks to the amazing people who support us at patreon.com/comic.
Oh,
Now, people know that once a month we like to pay tribute to the people who support us there at the $5 and up level. We read off their names at the top of the show, so let's kick it off with Otis Larson,
read Aaron C. Hollis,
Adam Horowitz,
Adam Marks,
Adriel Moreland. Pete,
bring the
step away
volume
from the
back. Oh my
microphone.
God, Elena Fontano,
Amanda Harris,
Andrew.
Andrew Primo,
Beer Cat PhD,
Benjamin Brown.
Carly W. Your mic is so hot tonight.
Carly, Carrie Matthews,
Chris Leatherman.
Christina Jaramillo,
Christina Rensfield,
Clemens Lure.
Demand Ryan,
Dan Snow,
Daniel Fuentes.
Debbie Gloom,
Derek Mainhart,
Dylan L.J.
Emmett Quish,
Jeffrey Risher,
Isaac Carter.
James Connolly,
Jaron Townsend,
Jason Donahue.
Jeffrey Welly,
John George,
John Harry and the Henderson.
Jonathan Jong,
Jonathan McCool,
Joshua W. Broxson.
Julian Lobato,
KC New Haven,
Kevin Kleinrock.
Kieran Broderick,
Cody Thomas,
Lewana Thomas.
Luke Asink,
Matt Tice,
Matthew C. Hernandez.
Michael Tillman,
Nelson Kelso Martinez,
Nick G.
Nick Grayson,
official CBC chef Brett Macris, a.k.a. Stray Bullies,
Omnia Soul Art.
Oren Dix,
Pedro A. Rangel,
Perry Taliaferro.
Pete's Pretty Kitty,
Provocative Ambulance,
Rev Mikey.
Robert
Rev.
Bettinato,
Sarah Schottenmuller,
Sarah Schaefer.
Scott Carpenter,
Scott England,
My man Stanley.
Steve Cook,
Tamili Rush,
Taylor Bryan.
Terrible Jason,
The Big Flood,
The 12 Bench.
Victor Perez,
Will Buchanan,
William Leach.
Zachary Bachman,
Zika's Viral Comics.
and thank you all so much for your support, whether we read your name or not. We really do appreciate it. It really helps to keep the show going. And just to mention, for anybody who's interested, $2 or more gets you
And we can
access-
murder your name.
we can murder it. No, that's $5 or more, and we'll murder
Oh,
your name.
oh,
But
sorry.
$2 or more, you get access to our Patreon Slack, which is very active, chatting about movies and comic books and food a lot of the times and other things. Very fun. You also get access to our back catalog of thousands of podcasts going all the way back to 2011. And as I said earlier, all bangers. Like non-stop
bangers.
Starting from
All
the first
hits,
one in
no
2011 all the way through, you'd be like, yo, this is too much. What is this, a Taylor Swift album?
Oh,
Yeah, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Interesting. Hot take.
I would
topical,
take that down a little bit, buddy.
Topical comic news, Taylor Swifties. There was that one that Pete hosted, which, I mean, a little wobbly.
Oh, how dare you. Those were always bangers.
I was reminded.
They actually were.
They were bangers.
Yeah,
All
it
the
was always
Pete
very
heads came
confusing
out.
to me because we had like very varying audiences, but whatever, and Pete would be like, God, how do we get more people to the show? And then when Justin and I were there, packed, plays packed every single time. So there was some secret you were holding on to, Pete, that you weren't telling us.
It's the same reason when you see like a fender bender, everybody's stopping and looking and turning their heads. You know what I mean? I was reminded over Memorial Day that my mom listens to every episode, and she wants to donate at the $5 level so that she can have her name honored.
Well, I like how she tells you, like, you got to do it. That's
I do
fun.
have to do it. She's not so hot with computers. She's not so hot. Right, Mom? Hi, Mom.
Aw. Hi, Justin's mom.
Well, I'll tell you what, we have a great guest this evening, so why don't we bring him in here now that we're done with these opening ceremonies? Yeah. He is the publisher and editor-in-chief of CEX Publishing. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Schmidt. Hello,
Hey,
Andy.
welcome, welcome. Man, look at that nerdy backdrop you got. Hell yeah, look at you go. Oh, man, that is glorious. Look
Pete,
at that.
Do you want to ask any specific questions?
Well, first off, shut up, Alex. Oh, my God, look at those posters. You got Darth Vader there? I mean, that's some badass shit.
I love the idea that he talks through this entire interview and Andy's
all right.
Like, well, Andy, thanks so much.
Andy, what's your favorite poster back there, man? That's some, speaking of bangers, all bangers. Look at those. That's glorious, man.
Well, the Ringo Fantastic Four one holds a special place.
Yeah.
He was awesome, and I still miss him. Annihilation was one of my biggest projects when I was in Marvel.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
The Guardians team up one, it's Rocket and the Pet Avengers. I co-wrote that comic and didn't even know they were making a poster of Umberto's art, and I saw it in a shop, and I was like, I'll have that.
I'll take that, please.
And who can go wrong with Art Adams doing all of the Avengers on the poster? So I can't bring it. I can't.
I love that you have a personal connection with all of them.
Yeah, I try to have a personal connection with everything. I didn't
points.
actually work on Jack Kirby's New Gods in the 70s. I was a little weak, but it's probably my favorite comic of all time.
Wow.
So,
Oh, nice.
I've been fooled.
and also, let me just pre-apologize to everyone listening as I bring your streak of 13 years or 12 years of bangers.
Oh, how dare you, sir. No, don't. Your poster's already made it a banger, dude, so don't even worry about it.
And Pete had like a B12 shot or something before he showed up, so he's just racing to this show. He's going to punch a wall in the air.
Yeah! How many Mountain Dews did you guys chug before the start?
Zero, Pete.
Oh, man, that's a horrible way to live.
Yes. Andy, let's talk about, I know there's a bunch of different things that you're working on, but the big project that we're chatting about right now that is going on right now, we've talked to a lot of folks at Zoop, and there's a Zoop starter, is what I'm going to call it for no particular reason, for Luciano Vecchio's Sereno, specifically a hardcover collection. First of all, did I mangle any part of those names? And second of all, what is it about, and what can people expect when they check out the book?
You did not mangle it, so congratulations. So yeah, that was nicely done. So Sereno by Luciano Vecchio, so you got that all right. And it's a superhero book, sort of a coming of age, as a younger superhero, and it's set in this place called Levatia, which is this sort of futuristic city. So it's got here's the comic.
Ooh,
when we published it as a miniseries, it's got this that's not the greatest.
Well, here, I can actually bring it up on screen.
Oh, look, there you are.
Yeah.
So it's got this sort of like Batman Beyond vibe to it.
Yeah.
About a younger superhero, and he is the night watchman in this super cool sort of futuristic sort of city. And at night, like all the bad elements. Like by day, it's like this like kind of super like utopia, almost like Metropolis, and then at night all the bad elements come out, and they're all like, it's also got sort of some new agey thing going on where it's like kind of about like panic and fear, so it winds up being kind of topical. A lot of stuff that we here in the States confront every day, but it doesn't approach it from like a political standpoint. It's just like it's just how to be a hero in a complicated world. And it's also a very personal work for Luciano because he grew up in Argentina, queer, and was very uncomfortable, like being upfront with that, was in the closet for a lot of time. So it's also kind of he's coming out as a storyteller, like doing his first real big creator-owned book after working at Marvel in DC and doing some cool work. So it's really great. It's great superhero stories. It's a great sort of take on that younger coming of age story for a superhero. So this was one where when I saw it, I certainly was not involved as a publisher. Like, I mean, he was working on it on his own, and we read it, and we all loved it, and just thought it was super fun and super stylistic. The art's just phenomenal, especially his use of color, because it's like a monochromatic thing, but the spot colors come in, and it all ties up thematically. So it's super cool, and we're trying to get this dope hardcover. We actually already hit our funding goal last week, so that was awesome.
Congrats!
And we just put up some new stretch goals today that I think are pretty cool, including potentially a whole new story. So we'll be adding pages of story to it.
First off, this is absolutely gorgeous. I was looking on the Zoo page. It's really unbelievable. I love the whole kind of like 3 eyes design, which is pretty neat. On something like this, like you said, that he's worked, kind of a lot of it on his own. Was it just kind of like, kind of nipping and cutting a little bit from your point, or how did you help him when he came to you? What was the process like?
I recommended that we put it in English. So
Thank you.
It turns out his writing in English is just as good. So,
oh wow!
So he translated the whole thing himself and redid all the lettering, and we did a little like grammar cleanup, but like even that was super minor. Honestly, there are projects where even if they are, fully done or close to fully done, where we come in and we got to do some surgery, but this was not one of them. This was actually remarkably easy. It came in. I think he just has such a sense of like who he is and what he wanted it to be, that it just came in so complete that it was a very no-brainer to say, yeah, I do want to publish that for sure. Then
how often is it that complete when you're meeting someone or you're seeing a book for the first time?
Well, sometimes we'll find projects that are already completely done. And then sometimes, somebody comes in with a pitch and they've got maybe 5 pages or 10 pages of art, and, the artist is attached to it. Usually it's a writer that does the pitching. I don't know why that typically falls on writers, but it seems to. And, we'll talk about it, and if it looks good and that's the artist that's going to do it, then we can be more involved along the way. And my take on it, as, I was started as an editor in the early 2000s. I started at Marvel and went to IDW. And my take on it is that as an editor, my job is to help them tell their story kind of the best way that they can, right? To the best of their ability. And I can give some feedback, but especially on stuff that's creator owned, which this is, it's not my book. So there's no heavy handed me coming in. It's, I can offer some suggestions, and if they're helpful, then great. If they're like, nope, take a hike, then I take a hike. It's their book. They're the ones that have to live with it for eternity. I just have to live with it for the short time that we have publishing rights.
This is a little bit of a broader question, and it sounds like this came in fully formed, but since you have been in editorial for a while, when you have an artist who is interested in transitioning into writing or writing and doing the art at the same time, are there any sort of base tips that you have? I mean, I understand that every case is going to be different, but is there something where you say, okay, these are the kind of things you're going to think about as you work from one medium to the other, one part of the medium to the other?
Yeah. This is kind of funny, but sometimes I have to tell artists who are going to start writing to watch how wordy they get. And I don't know if it's like I get to control all the words now, but a lot of times like artists will get super wordy in their comics, and I don't know if it's them, they need to learn just to be more economical with the way that they write or what. But that's one of them. It's just like, hey, or maybe they're like, if I write a ton, I don't have to draw as much because it's all going to be covered up anyway.
That'll fill the page.
I would think it would be the opposite.
Yeah, I mean, I would think so too. I would think they'd all be like, we're doing silent comics, but maybe that's not what they feel like they've been doing. So that's actually one of the pieces of advice I give to an artist that's going to try and write, or is going to write for the first time, is just watch how wordy you get. And then also sometimes they want to get like way too clever. Like it's like the chains are off and now I can do anything I want. And so I will do everything. And sometimes it's like, okay, let's just make sure that there's a reason to do all of those things. Like, so, and sometimes though, you just got to do a book and get that stuff out of your system. and sometimes chaos is fun. So,
yeah.
You know, it's sometimes hard to argue with that. But I've helped a few artists. There's a good friend of mine, but he's a very popular artist who was trying his hand at writing for the first time a couple years back. And he called me up and he was like, my editor isn't giving me any notes. Ooh. And so
it's perfect.
I need notes. Like I just need to get this thing to be good enough to not be embarrassing. And so,
it sounds like a writer talking right there. I just need this to be good enough to be done with it.
So I was like, well, yeah, of course, you know, I'll help. So he started sending me outlines and scripts, and I tried to give him some feedback and some pointers. But he wound up being like this great student because he really wanted to be good. But he was such a popular artist that I think like they were like, don't make him mad, you know. Or something. I don't know. But
let him write a bad book. Be careful.
So that was pretty interesting. I've had a few things like that, and then writers that are gonna try their hand at art. I usually tell them to start on something small because if they suck at it, then they can just get it out and be done with it. But yeah,
much more rare. I can't really think of a good example of that happening necessarily, other than like Tom King doing his joke covers or anything like that.
Right. Yeah. Well, Bendis used to do his own. I know he was on the show just last week, right? But yeah, he did his own art for a long time.
Yeah.
Went to art school to do it. And actually, when I was editing some of his books, he would turn in layouts for the whole issue. Like he turned in the script, and he turned out like a PDF that he would scan of all these layouts to give the artists. Some of the artists followed him, some of them didn't. But I think it was just part of his, because he thinks visually. Like I think it was just part of his process. After a while, he kind of stopped doing it. I think because he was busy. He was writing like 78 issues of Ultimate Spider-Man, Alias, the False New Avengers, you know.
Tim Seeley, he does his he does both back and forth pretty well. Yeah. Where's the line as an editor as far as like putting in an idea? When you're editing a book, you're like, I don't know if that quite works. What about? How much can you suggest before it's a little like you're crossing that line?
I mean, it's different for every creator, of course. But you know, what I try to do is I try to rip off what's there. So, and sometimes like I pick something out of a book that the writer or the artist didn't intend or didn't see, and maybe that just means I'm dealing with different issues in my life. I don't know, but that actually happened fairly recently, where I was talking. We're looking at a project that I think I'm optimistic that we're going to do. I think it's really cool, and I said, you know, it connected with me because of there was this sense of like being an adolescent and this feeling of like shame. And then I realized that I felt shameful for feeling like connecting with being shameful as an adolescent, like retroactively. And but I was like, I get this like vibe off this thing, you know, obviously about kids or whatever. And the writer was like, that's really interesting. That wasn't exactly what I was going for, but now that you mention it, I can see it. And so then we just talked about, you know, like what are the themes that you want to bring out? And how can we make sure that the themes that you intend for the audience to get are the ones that they're picking up on? And I think that shame theme was in there, and he kind of was like, yeah, that's there. I haven't really put my finger on it. And so I think he's working on bringing some of that up. But somebody else might have just been like, it's not about shame, so shut up.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay. And then you just ask, so what is it about?
Yeah.
Go from there.
You're like a therapist for comic books, basically.
I think making comics is its own therapy because we're all dealing with stuff, right? Any creative endeavor, you know, we are dealing with things. The first creator-owned book I wrote was called 5 Days to Die. It was years ago, and you know, I had just had a kid. And Justin, you were talking about your kids before the show started. Congrats. You know, I know it's been a while, but congrats.
Thank you. I'm celebrating them less now that they're 7 and 4. But you're right. I really need to.
But so I did this book that's about a detective and his family gets in this car accident, and he thinks there was a murder attempt, and he's faced with this decision: I can stay and try to repair my relationship with my daughter, or I can go out and find the bad guy. And he's injured. He only has 5 days left before he's going to die. It's about 5 days to die. So he and I'm scripting the 4th issue of 5 when I realized oh shit. shit, this is about me becoming a dad. Is all of my fears about like not connecting with this new kid, you know, like,
so funny.
Like, am I going to be that dad that's so absorbed in his work that I'm not there, or am I going to be the dad that comes back and says work can wait and whatever? And then like I'm writing the 4th issue when like this like bomb drops in my head, and I'm like, oh, that's what this is about. So I really do think when we're making art, you know, we're dealing with something.
Leaks out.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I had a friend who I was just like trying to pitch ideas, and after like the 5th pitch, he was like, "I get it, you like Spaceballs, okay? Like it's super clear that that's your jam and your sweet, you know, spot there." And I was like, "Oh wow, I didn't even notice that."
Exactly. We're all dealing with things. Some of us are dealing with the prospect of being a new father. Other of us are dealing with we like Spaceballs. So
yeah, exactly.
It's all even.
You know what I mean? Who's to say what's
equal things going on in our lives?
Andy, talk to us a little bit about CEX Publishing, because you're not just the editor of this book, you're also the dude who is running the whole thing. So, what is the mission of the publisher? What's the overall mission statement, I guess?
Yeah, so we publish creator-owned comics. So, and sadly, I think this is enough of a mission statement. Is we treat creators well, and we make fair deals that includes them and things like profits.
Wow.
Okay.
But
that sounds nice.
Profitable comics, you say? Interesting. Okay.
Profits on comics? Yeah. Huh. Well, actually, I was just about to say they're not just included on profits, because there are those times where you don't get there. But we actually start paying royalties with the very first copy.
Oh wow!
So
that's awesome.
And we pay our royalties based on the retail price. So even if we sell it, like if we run a sale or something, they're still getting their full royalty. And yeah, but that just puts on onus on us, right? I mean, we have to be smarter about how we sell the books, because basically we have to sell a lot of them in order to pay out the full royalty and cover our print costs and, you know, our overhead and all that sort of stuff as well. So,
is there a way you could take over all of Hollywood, Andy? I think it's sort of the energy we need right now. Yeah.
I am doing my best. That's first I'm going to run for president of comics, and then
nice.
Well,
you're on the right show.
Probably dictator of Hollywood. I think that's the only way.
Nice. Wow. That's what's necessary. I think actually Mike Pence is running for president of comics. He's just announcing.
Yeah.
Chris
today.
His involvement in the January 6th comics insurrection, though, is like a little dicey.
All right.
I have questions. This is all I'm saying. Andy, other than Luciano Vecchio's book, what else should people be checking out from CEX? What's coming out now or upcoming that might interest folks?
Cool, yeah. So we've got, just came out 7 Years in Darkness, #1 by Joe Schmalke, which sold out, and then the second printing sold out, and we are issuing the third printing of it right now. So that one is just sort of
awesome.
Exceeding our expectations, which is awesome. But it's got a super cool concept. It's like an evil version of Harry Potter. There's a dark arts school that's been closed for 200 years. It's opened up for the first time in that time, and 72 students enter for their first year, and only 7 will graduate. Yeah,
live? Wow.
Yeah, I don't like that ratio, man.
That sounds like Cornell University.
Oh, boy!
You are a master of the dark arts.
Yeah, that one just hit, and it's doing awesome. And then we've got Mother Russia coming out, which is not about Russia and Ukraine. It's actually just about
mothers
and zombies and one lone sniper trying to protect a child during a zombie horde during the siege of Stalingrad.
Wow.
And we put out a book that did super well called Saga of a Doomed Universe, which is it's like an homage to 80s superhero crossover events.
Nice.
So Scott Reed, the creator, built like the whole universe that went along with it. It's super awesome, but it's also much more than just an homage. It's also got this like super cool story on top of it that like gets into like the publisher of the book and like, you know, the real world like intercedes in what's going on in the comic. It's really, really great. We've got, we haven't announced this yet, so here you go. An exclusive just for you. We are doing Joe Glass and Vince Underwood's The Miracles, which is another coming-of-age superhero story, but that one's super cool. That one should be announced in the next couple of weeks. Other than here, like a post.
I mean, it was just announced
right
now.
Yeah. This is it feels announced since we are live. So we try to put out basically a new number one each month, and that might be a one shot. We do a lot of one shots, or it could be a mini series. So we've got Tuskers coming up, which is really cool. It's a fully painted book by Daniel Govar, and it's about the elephant trade and hunting in Africa. Like he and the writers went to Africa and like explored this whole thing. It's tragic, but it's beautiful. So hopefully it won't make people super sad, but it's really good.
Cool. That's awesome. These all sound very cool and with very specific pitches. How important is concept for you when you're picking up books versus the teams you're working with, or does it all work into the mix?
It all goes into the mix, but honestly, I mean, we are a smaller publisher. And so when you're a publisher of our size and we've only been publishing a little over a year. So when you're a publisher that's still establishing their track record, which has been happening pretty quickly, I'm happy to say, the concept I think is really important, because that's like retailers are going to give you a sentence or two in your solicit, and really that they might not even read your full solicit. So you have to like grab them right off the bat. It's got to be something that not only do they get, but they like, and they think they can sell to their audiences. So I know we've talked about like 2 or 3 superhero oriented books here, but that superhero is not the main thing that we do. But there are certain things about superhero books that with the direct market, I know that we can plug those in with certain types of retailers and their fan bases, right? The same way that horror works. But we're moving into crowdfunding, hence Zoop, and we'll probably be doing a Kickstarter or something soon. And I think when we start breaking out into other platforms and other places that we can sell books, and we're in bookstores very soon, we can break out and do more genre that can have, some can be more for the book market, some can be more for the direct market, some can be more for a crowdfunding platform. It just allows for a lot more that we can do, and a lot of different ways to also, frankly, protect the business, so that if one thing sort of drops out, you don't have all your eggs in one basket. So.
For sure. Well, all this stuff seems very exciting. Justin,
real quick,
please.
One thing before we move too far. Early on, when you were talking about your work, we got this comment. Really enjoyed the Rocket Pet Avengers comic, so I wanted to shout that out.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. There you go. Nailed it. Cool.
That's amazing. I'm glad someone read it.
Well, listen, Andy, congratulations on everything. The book, I read through it today, and it's awesome. So obviously it's successful, but congratulations on all the success, and I'm sure you will make all of the stretch goals as well. And looking forward to reading the rest of these books.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate you having me. Have a good one.
All right,
no problem.
Thanks so
Take
much.
care.
Have a good
Congratulations.
night. All right, there we go. Once again, that was Andy Schmidt, publisher and editor-in-chief of CEX Publishing. You can check out Luciana Vecchio's Sereno on Zoop right now and go support it.
Yeah.
There you go. And now it is time for our next section, which is my favorite section because you all make it up. It's your audience questions. And for audience questions, all you got to do is drop a question basically anywhere we're live except for Twitter, because they don't do that at all. But we got a bunch of things to get to. Before we get to what we are drinking tonight, we actually have a sponsor that I want to read out here.
Okay.
Here we go. What if victims from your favorite horror flicks had a second chance to change their fates? What if they had to compete for their lives against each other and their killers and monsters? In the new comic Try Not to Die, a blonde high school student from a 90s slasher flick, a certain babysitter from a long-running horror franchise, and others are forced to do just that. when these classic horror film characters are abducted, teleported, and taken hostage by a mysterious, powerful being and forced to take part in their deadly competition where they face each other's killers, fates get crossed, tempers get tested, trust becomes obsolete, and, of course, blood is shed. Whoa. Try Not to Die is... Are you ready for this? Here's the pitch section. It's pretty good. Try Not to Die is Squid Game meets Cabin in the Woods. And for fans of The Silver Coin, I Hate This Place and Something is Killing the Children, we like all
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's in our wheelhouse.
It is a terrifying story about desperate characters trying to prove their fates were a mistake, chances at redemption, revenge, and most of all, survival. By the end of issue 1, readers will be at the edge of their seats and realize that there is nowhere to hide from these revenants, monsters, and slashers. Set in a universe where literally all horror genres are on the table, there truly is no other book on the stands quite like Try Not to Die. From Mad Cave Studios writer Damien Becton and master artist Kenneth Laster, Try Not to Die is now available on Kickstarter. Go to trynot2die.net to pledge today and bring this comic to life. That's trynot2die.net. There you go. So check that out, and now let's check out what's everybody's drinking. As you probably know, Stray Bullet, a.k.a. Stray Bullies, a.k.a. Brett Macris, always likes to curate or plan out something for us. This week is Negroni week. I am having a basic-ass Negroni. Justin, what are you drinking?
Basic-ass Negroni.
Would expect nothing different from a man, Alex. I got a Mezcal Negroni, and I am loving it. I almost did
that. Oh, Mezcal Negroni, so good. Pete, what about you?
So
what
good.
Negroni are you
let
drinking?
me just chat.
Yeah.
Ooh, hazy Negroni.
Circle
Pete's feeling
Theory
hazy.
What were you going to say,
I've been, with my wife out of town, I've been doing a lot of infusing of alcohol, and it's great. I made...
Not going to delve into that too much.
Yeah. Don't want to get into that. So let me get this straight. You're saying as soon as your wife leaves town, that's when you start to experiment with alcohol.
Well, not experiment. It truly, it's like lab, but it's much more, because I've also been doing it with food. It's like at night I don't have anything to do, so I like make stuff.
So you call KFC and a Pizza Hut and see which one gets there first? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. That's your dream, right? That's the like parents out of town dream come true. But I made a grapefruit vodka that is very good, and a leek and pepper gin that is like perfect for Bloody Marys, but also I mixed it with a little Lillet for a sort of martini-esque drink, and it tastes just like a dirty martini. It's very good.
Oh, very nice. Well, cool. We got a couple of questions popping up here already. This is from All in the Game. The Flash, Rotten Tomatoes, 73. Here, let me give the setup for this before I get into this. So the Flash review embargo broke today at 3 p.m., so official critics' reviews are up now. So All in the Game is saying the Flash Rotten Tomato... I have not seen it. The Flash Rotten Tomato, 73% at 66 reviews, 6.5 out of 10, and Metacritic... 60 out of 100. Some of the VFX not that great, apparently, which is weird since they had so long to work on it. So, yeah, I mean, I think the question here is, what do we think about the Flash reviews now that they're out? Like he says here, or All in the Game says here, there's definitely, like, there was early... We've talked about this a lot, but like James Gunn said, this is the best superhero movie ever made. Several other people, including Stephen
Yeah, that's
King.
the thing. Is like the DC Comics website, or the DC Universe website has it at 100%.
Yeah, that is weird. That's like back in the day when you read Nintendo Power, they're like, I don't know, I think this might be the best Nintendo game of all time.
Yeah, but it was probably true, though.
It was true. My favorite, one of my absolute favorite
I get
things,
my news from Nintendo Power.
All my absolute favorite things was in Nintendo Power, they'd be like, we got an exclusive from Nintendo. And I'd be like, really? How did you get that? Where'd you get, who gave that to you? That's crazy.
There's just like, a beat reporters just wandering around the office building like, hey, any news
got
for Nintendo Power?
Yeah. Listen, I got to get some scoops for the latest issue. I will say my saddest career ambition as a journalist is that Nintendo Power doesn't exist anymore. I would love Love to work there someday.
Leave
Leave that up. We're still answering the question here. We haven't actually talked about the Flash reviews, Pete. Pete, stop it. I never should have given you control of this. I'm moving you back to
Don't touch the machinery. Do not touch the machinery.
Yes.
You're like one of the kids in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
The initial reviews were very positive. Also out of CinemaCon, people who saw it there were very positive about it. But I think we talked about it even then. There felt like there was a little bit of a strained smile behind the reviews, and that's coming out even more with these new reviews of pretty much everybody is like, wow, really emotional. Michael Keaton, great. Has a really rough third act, and the VFX are bad. See it on the biggest screen possible. And I don't know. Everything that I hear about this movie sounds worse to me the more that I hear about it. Justin, I don't know if you have an opinion on this.
Rarely when I'm seeing a movie I'm really enjoying, am I like, can we make the screen bigger? I just can't enjoy this movie. The screen's not big enough. I mean, the thing is, what
he wanted the screen bigger. I was just making the screen bigger for him.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
No. This dovetails nicely with perhaps a discussion about the Spider-Verse.
There we go. Is that better? I put you on solo.
Respect.
Yeah, there you go.
Finally, we should do this all the time. Pete's releasing separate podcasts. We should all just have our own show.
Hey, take it easy, all right?
Who said that? Take it easy. Who said that? I can't see who said that.
No one's talking. This is the Justin show. With the Spider-Verse, seeing the possibilities of comic book movies and knowing that The Flash, if it is a good superhero movie, is
Alex
still
drops like individual shit all the time. I don't know why you're getting on me about it.
Since you are out of control tonight, Pete.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. I think, listen, maybe it's good, but it's also, maybe this is what you're getting to. It's on the heels of Across the Spider-Verse, which has been considered one of the best superhero movies of all time and completely crushing the multiverse stuff. So
but I heard the sound isn't that good, and they keep doing a stupid running bit the whole time.
Oh, my God. I am not talking to you ever about this movie, Pete.
You are infuriating. And I'll tell you what, Pete, you have a lot of not great opinions. Being an anti-Spider-Verse is perhaps your most insane.
I take it easy. I'm not anti-Spider-Verse.
You just didn't like the first movie and haven't seen the second movie?
First off, how dare you put those monikers on me? There were parts of the first movie that I very much enjoyed. There was just one little bit that I didn't think was very enjoyable.
Oh, boy, I don't want to talk about this. Let's move on. This is a question for you and me, Pete. From Kevin says, question for Alex and Pete, do you have any other projects to plug?
Yeah, me and Alex are working on a couple podcasts, just the two of us, just kind of cranking out some new material. Yeah, just kind of shooting some stuff.
Seems risky.
Yeah.
See what sticks.
We're doing a relationship advice podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense to have you two famously get along very well. To be talking to each other without any sort of other factor there to maybe smooth over any weird tensions that are developing.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. I don't think so. Pete, do you, in all seriousness, do you have any other projects you want to plug at this point? I don't know what Kevin is getting.
I don't know, but I sent an email to you guys about trying to do a live show. I haven't got a reply on that back.
That's with us. That's with us. That counts as us.
It's a project that I would like to work on with you guys. It's called Doing a Live Show.
Great, there we go. I don't know if we have any other
Alex,
questions.
What about you?
No, I don't think I have anything else. I do this podcast and I take care of my children. My big upcoming project.
Don't forget your wife.
She's not here, so I'm just infusing alcohols at this point.
Infusing it into my body, right, dogs?
My big project coming up is I completely splurged and got myself that Lego Batcave. The Batman.
Are you serious?
I am. It's arriving tomorrow. And now I'm trying to think around and tell my 8-year-old son, no, this is for Daddy. This is Daddy's Lego.
That's going to be so hard.
You've entered another phase in your life, Alex. Between Zelda and this, what's up? Are you having a midlife crisis?
No, I'm not having. Zelda is amazing. I love playing Zelda, and legitimately, I love playing it with my son because we actually It sounds so stupid, but we play really well together. Like, he very much is like, he will take the controller for some things, I'll take the controller for others. He's actually way better at the puzzles than I am. Like, he figures them out like that. So while I'm better at the fighting, and he gets like a little scared when he's fighting the monsters, so that works out very nicely. On the other hand, this is a large Lego set that I've always wanted to get myself, a large Lego set.
How many pieces?
Alex.
It's almost 4,000 pieces.
Wow.
It is the full-on back.
You don't have a lot of space. You know what I mean? Like, New York City is known for space.
Here's the reason that I got this is, you know what, I'll see if I can find a picture of it to bring up if we're going to do another question or something. But
there's a lot of people saying, like, we got to see your progress. Please TikTok the progress.
Yeah, no problem.
Gotta get it going.
All right. Well, I'll see if I can bring it up. Oh, you know what? I could probably bring up a screen here. This is all very important to do, right?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. You selling us on the Lego Batcave.
Yeah.
That's a fun side project.
Yeah. So yeah, is this showing up now? Yes, it is. So yeah, it's this huge bat cave right there, and the reason that I got it is it's
Can you
actually
click on it so we can? We're seeing a lot on the screen right now. You know what I mean? Help us out.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
so that's
Lego
what it looks
Pac-Man
like. It has the Batmobile. It has a bat symbol that you open up, and it basically works as like a shoebox. So you could fold it up with the Batcave, but it comes with the Batmobile there. It comes with this person. It comes with an orange. I don't know what that is. And then it also has like Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. It has a Max Shrek Lego of all things, Penguin and other things. So I'm very excited. There's Batman.
Love Max Shrek.
But yeah, there you go. 3,981 pieces. I'm very excited.
Dude, so how much is that? Almost $500, bro?
Sure is, man.
Oh my God, dude. Holy shit.
I actually said
$500 on Legos.
Here was my plan. I told my family this. Like, I've always wanted one of the enormous, like, Millennium Falcon or Death Star or one of those Lego sets.
Yes.
I was like, for my 50th birthday, that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to drop that amount of money because it's too much money. But then this came up. Batman Returns, one of my favorite movies of all time. It fits on your shelf really nicely.
Which shelf, so it looks pretty busy back there.
This one over here, right behind me.
So you're going to take off Watchmen and all that's gone?
I'm going to get rid of this stupid fucking sonic screwdriver from Doctor Who that nobody likes. I'm going to get rid of this Watchmen watch. I mean, like, who cares about that? Right?
I'll take that. Yeah, send that to me.
I'm going to take that R2-D2 over there, which you can't see. I'm going to take that and I'm going to break its legs off and throw it in the garbage.
Come on, man. Don't hurt R2.
No.
What about all your diaries that you write your secrets in that are also on that bookshelf?
They're now going to be for keeping track of my Lego set.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've got another question here. I don't know if it's a real question. This is from Stray Bullet. I have Lego pieces that I won't let my son touch. Are there things in your life that are clearly for kids, but you won't let your kids or nieces and nephews go near? Pete's laughing, meaning basically everything in his life.
No, I just think it's funny that, I like the setup of this whole question here. So far I don't have any, other than adult things that children should be near, but no like kid stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but with my kids, I let them clean up spills with my comic books. And
oh, Jesus.
Cut them into pieces and wear them as like hats and dresses and stuff.
You're awful, man.
So, yeah. I know once I need to get them graded, so just walk me through that. Once. I have them in a good place.
Yeah.
When they say bagged and boarded, I just need to put them all in like a big plastic, like a garbage bag, right? That's bagged. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And boarded, I glue them to like a 2x4.
Yes. Yep. Your kids will love it.
In all seriousness, I always tell my kids that stuff is meant to be played with. Toys are meant to be played with, and comics and books are meant to be read.
Toy Story.
You know?
Toy Story, too.
Well, yes, and that's where I learned that. I didn't know that before I saw the Toy Story programs.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your Batcave, what are you going to do, Hotshot?
No. Here's the thing. My son is 100% welcome to play with it. I just want to build it myself. That's what I want to do. That's all I do.
So you won't be like a freak about it once it's up there. People can touch it,
they
break
can do whatever they want with it. Like legitimately, after I built it, if they want to break it apart and do it again, that's totally fine. But just what I like about Legos is the experience of building them and seeing them come together like a big puzzle. So there you go.
And once you finish it, Batman comes and says, "You did a good job. You're my Robin. You're my Robin now.
I'm adopting you, Alex.
I love you, Alex. I'm your dad." You want to get nuts with me, your friend Batman? Let's get nuts.
Hey, you know what I heard is that apparently Michael Keaton improvised that line in the first Batman movie. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
It makes sense. The fact that line has been like canonized and lionized, I'm like, it's a fine line, but it sounds made up.
Yeah.
It's not something someone's like, I gotta have Bruce Wayne say this line.
Pancio Mundial says, are you guys interested in reading Battle Chasers number 10 coming 30 years after the series started? I didn't know this was happening, honestly. I don't know about you guys.
That's Joe Madeira, right? His comic from way back in the day.
Oh, wow.
I'm down for that. I only read a couple of the original Battle Chasers, so it's not like I was a fan of that, but Joe Madeira's art, I feel like, I always liked it. And so more work from him is cool.
Agreed.
This is from Prime NRG. What are the most rare, historically important comics you think you own?
Ooh, the one where Wolverine lost his adamantium I own. I was pretty excited about that.
He lost it, like it fell out of his pocket.
Yeah, just the old pocket drop classic. Hole in the pocket.
I've got some old Archies that are from like the 60s, I think, that are maybe cool. I've got that are maybe cool. I've got a very old What If that I feel like is one that I think it's like what if Wolverine killed the Hulk or something like that.
I brought this up on the show before, but I have a basically almost dust copy of Fantastic Four Annual number 2 and a couple of other comics from that age that used to be my dad's old comics that I don't even want to look at because they're going to fall apart. But I don't know that I own this, but I feel like I probably have this somewhere. I was thinking about it this weekend after watching Across the Spider-Verse. Ultimate Fallout number 4, which introduced Miles Morales, and whatever issue of Edge of Spider-Verse it was that introduced Spider-Gwen, those have to be worth a lot of money at this point, right? I think. I don't know.
I don't think comics are valued in that way.
You don't think comics are valuable anymore?
I mean, sort of. The reason comics from back in the day are valuable is because people would literally throw them away like magazines. A, and B, their print runs were way smaller, so they're much more rare items. Now they print so many that you can find a lot of them.
Here, I'm going to look it up. Ultimate Fallout number 4 value. This is from GoCollect.com, my favorite site. At a 9.6, it's $768.
Woo! You can get a back cave for that. You can get a whole another back cave for that.
I definitely could.
That's how you count your money now. You have like, the rent's due. I owe them 6 back caves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 6 of the sets, but they're all for me. My son can't do any of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. I think that is it for our audience question.
Wait, Kevin asked, fine, Justin, do you have any plugs? And I would like to plug one thing. I'm doing a show on Thursday
Characters Welcome
this week. I'm doing that. I did that last weekend on Friday. It was very fun. But at Caveat, Mission to Zix, a live show.
Oh, nice.
Maybe some old Durf hanging out situation happening there. So if you're a fan of that, please.
Is the Verizon guy going to be there?
Yes, Alden.
Yeah, with all that Verizon money.
You know Alden.
Yeah.
Do you know how many Batcaves does he make for doing a Verizon commercial?
Yeah, it's got to be a lot of Batcaves.
I can't count his Batcaves. It's too much to think about.
All right, we're going to move on to our next section, which is trivia, and for that, we're going to turn it over to Pete LePage.
All right!
Ooh, the star.
This is the part we give back to you, the lovely audience. It's an opportunity to win $25 in the form of a Midtown Comics gift card or of course maybe Long John Silver for some reason. Do we have a brave volunteer, or do we need one now? Looking in the direction of Alex.
Yeah, yes, I was just putting a little note in the chat.
Okay, there we go. Great, yeah.
Ooh, no.
Oh, right, there we got
Pick
one.
Me.
Pick Me is in. Oh. All right, so here we go. Today's trivia is on topical comic news and a small nod to the legend Tina Turner, R.I.P. Please listen to all three options before.
Could this be? What movie could you be referencing with Tina Turner?
Hey,
what a mystery!
Wow,
Zalbin,
Alex, you bastard!
Zalbin, right here, dude. Zip it, all right. This isn't the fucking Zalbin hour, okay? Yeah, this is my time. My time down here.
Sorry, this is. I'm sorry. This is
a story about a
Zalbin
little
hour.
boy that said "shh," right, Pete?
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
The fact that you know that is not cool.
Well, please listen to all three options before making your selection. Here we go. Question number 1. New comic from Ed Brisson coming out through AWA Studios in June. What is the fun title? Is it A, Sins of the Salton Sea? Is it B, Jane Payne? Or C, James Payne? So clearly number 1, because I said fun title, and that is number one.
Are we're moving?
That's my hint. No, that's my hint. I'm not giving them the. I'm not saying A. I'm saying number 1, like the first option.
That's very tricky.
Wow.
You see what I'm doing there?
Smart.
Yeah.
So my 4-year-old just learned that, so she will maybe not.
So Panico, if I'm not mispronouncing your name, just put A in the chat.
Yeah, if you could.
Then we can move on.
If that's what you believe the right answer is, and
trivia is broken. Trivia is broken on this show.
Yeah. Trivia's been broken for many a time. There we go. Number 1, he's right. All right. Here we go. Question number 2. Who is going to write the new Captain America comic coming out in September? Is it A, J. Michael Straczynski, or is it B, Maximilian Osinski, or is it C, Jack Nicholson? Yes, again, it is A. Well done. Well done indeed. Okay,
That's
here we
amazing.
go.
To answer 1 minute before you ask.
Exactly. There are already, they know what's up. Here we go. Last one. Question number 3. In the new trailer for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, which looks amazing by the by, who is the voice of Master Splinter? Is it A, Jackie Chan, B, Mo Bumbercatch, or C, Elton John?
Well, I assume
Pronounced Panico.
Panico. Panico, you should probably put A in the chat again.
Yeah, that is true.
Or 1 or whatever we're doing this week.
Yeah, exactly. Good way to roll
Alpha.
with it there.
Hey,
Kevin.
there we go. Panico, you got it.
That's
Congratulations.
Right. Amazing.
Incredible. Out of nowhere. Now, if you would like a gift card to, I was going to say Comic Book Club, Midtown Comics, or either Long John Silver's.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah. You can get a free Comic Book Club. Email us at comicbookclublive@gmail.com. And Pete, what secret movie were you referring to?
Well, Pablo D. Martinez is right. What's up, Pablo? I was talking about the 1975 banger Tommy.
All right.
I will say you upset expectations by
definitely did.
choosing that movie.
Suck on that one, Zalbatron.
Oh, wow.
You really got me. I
Therapy
wish you
sessions-
had talked about my favorite movie with Tina Turner, though.
Well, we didn't.
What's
Last Action Hero is probably what you were going to
I
say.
was going to
She
say
was
Last
the
Action
mayor.
Hero. Exactly. Of course. As we all know, new comic
Makes
books
sense.
are coming out all the time. What are you guys looking forward to, Pete?
Oh, man, there's a lot of great stuff. And I can't wait to talk to you guys all about it tomorrow at 9 o'clock. The Joker, the Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 9. Very excited about that. In Hell We Fight, number 1. Very excited about that one as well.
Justin, what about you?
Interesting. I got to give it up to a couple as well. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World, number 6 by Jason Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
That's a fun comic. I look forward to discussing it with my friend Peter J. LePage.
Yeah, we're going to get
and
into
I want to
that
shout
one.
out Fantastic Four #8. Ryan North, I think, has been really bringing about a classic return to Fantastic Four, and I love it. What's the matter?
Oh, we're going to get into that one.
Well, I'd like to give a shout out to Maleficent #2 from Dynamite. These Disney films. Shockingly good. I was surprised. I didn't look this up, so I had no idea, but I thought the first issue was a one-shot. I was like, great, it's done. So when I saw this pop up here, I was actually very excited to check it out. So all of those books, as Pete mentioned, and many more, I think we're going just south.
Alex, what do you think when they get to the Toy Story villain book and it's like the abstract concept of existence is the villain? Or infectious nostalgia overtaking culture.
It's going to be a Lotso. I'm sorry. I understand your joke, but it would be Lotso that doesn't make any sense, Justin. Okay, Lotso is the.
That's
villain.
not. He's not the villain. He's redeemed at the end, Alex, and he joins
the Prospector. What about the Prospector? The Prospector.
Hey, this is fun.
All of these books and many more are going to be talked about in our Stack podcast that rolls out in its own dedicated feed at the Comic Book Club feed. What is going on with that squeaking? Comic Book Club.
Me. Sorry, I was squeaking.
I'm a mouse. Comic Book Club feed Wednesday at 9 a.m. So check that out. And folks, that is it for this week's show. Thank you so much to Andy Schmidt for coming on the show. Be sure to check out Luciano Vecchio Serrano on Zoop right now, as well as everything else from CEX Publishing. Next week, we're going to have a big show. Very excited about this.
Ooh, it's a big show?
Big show. Really big show.
It's a big show.
Really big show. Tilly Walden is going to be here to talk about the second volume of Clementine, the spin-off from The Walking Dead. Also, Alex Believe is going to be here to talk about the Marvel art of Alex Believe. So hopefully, I think, 2 great interviews. I'm very excited about that. Also, check out Sons of a Gun, our DC podcast that is rolling out semi-weekly, talking about DC stuff, including coming up.
It's weekly. We just haven't done one.
Yeah, we just didn't do it this
week.
Marvel Vision, our Marvel podcast. You can check out our extensive Across the Spider-Verse review. Just went up, and other episodes.
We got to talking.
We did. I wouldn't have stopped talking if you didn't look tired. Riverdale After Dark, our Riverdale podcast, rolling out weekly, talking about episodes. Patreon.com/ComicBookClub to support this show and all the shows we do. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Android, Spotify, Stitcher, or the app of your choice at Comic Book Live on Twitter, Comic Book Club Live on Instagram or TikTok, comicbookclublive.com for this podcast and many more. Until next time, good night!
Good night!
Thanks, everybody.
Let's do it again. Take it from the top. Let's take it from the top. I want to do it again. I feel like we could do better. We can do better.
No, they're all bangers.
No, it was perfect.
Oh, okay.
Banger.
All right.